Good morning, cousins. Good morning, cousins. Listen, check in. Check in with me. Y'all know what time it is. Let's table this. Okay? We're going a little bit out of order now. We're about to go a little bit out of order, but we're still going to call this episode 3, part 1. Okay? We're going out of order, but don't worry. I'll bring us back. But I feel like today is a good day to have this part of the conversation. Okay? So listen. I told y'all on Sunday was Purity Day. Get my purity ring. And I also informed y'all that the low light of my day was my father not showing up and being there for me as a witness. Not even nothing really else, but just to witness like a healing part of my journey, right? Okay, so now this morning, cousins, my father sends me a picture, text. And it's a picture of me and my late husband during our wedding ceremony. Like, how is this even relevant? I'm about to tell y'all how this is relevant. Because the fact that he sent that picture only reminds me of the distress before the wedding. I don't even know if y'all ready for that, but I'm on my way. I'm cool to do it. You're cool to hear me? You got your I'm going to get me some coffee, but if you got your coffee, cousins, let's table this, okay? It is listen, me and my cousin Doogie, when I lived in North Carolina, we used to do this thing called coffee time. And that's probably what I want to call my little series now that I'm thinking about it out loud. Don't. Okay? So every morning, like, we would just sit at the table, drink a cup of coffee, and talk about all of the shenanigans that happened the day before, right? Okay, but anyway. Hey, cousin. Let me tell y'all what happened. Me and my late husband was already married. Okay, we got married in 2013. We got married in 2013. Now, it was a small, intimate ceremony. It was not, we did have time to plan it, but we didn't have like enough time to execute it. So we had agreed. We mutually agreed. We're going to get married. We want to be married. We want to, see what marriage is all about, all that good stuff. We was in Richmond County, Georgia. We was in a conference room of a hotel. It was real intimate. A couple of my aunts was there. I met his brothers and his mothers for the first time during the ceremony. That this just how intimate it was, y'all. And that's how fast it happened too. So let me say that it happened really fast. So a lot of people feel like, it was kind of planned out and just kind of overlooked, and it wasn't. I was in a relationship. He was in a relationship prior to us getting married. Again, I married my best friend. Okay. Anywho, that happened. Some time went by. I messed up. Came back, we reconciled. Okay, 2 years later, me and my late husband, we reconciled our marriage. Now, mind you, in that time, we were annulled. I apologize for the wording. We were annulled. So the marriage was annulled, which means we were divorced. That's a pretty word for saying divorced without saying divorced, right? And so we had to be remarried. So I have 2 legit marriage certificates. Okay, we had to be remarried, like legitimately. And so that second time we got remarried, we did it in Augusta. Okay, we did it with our pastor at that time, which was not my mom. My mom was not our pastor at that time, even though she's a pastor. Okay, just want to make that clarity there. So we did that. Right now, once we started planning for the ceremony, it was a lot of small discrepancies, right? And not negative, it's just a part of the process, okay? So anyway, once we got the location and all of that situated, boom, it was solidified. Now, it took me almost 4 months, maybe 5, to be honest, maybe even 6, if I'm being about five, to ask my father to walk me down the aisle, right? Because here's the reality for me. You didn't show up for nothing. and everything that you should have showed up for without a doubt, regardless to, the parental discrepancies, regardless to my grandparents and my auntie, regardless to the adults. You never showed up for me, right? So this was like my first adult moment that I was like, I mean, I want it, but I don't want it. Like, I don't want what comes with it. I didn't want the rejection. I didn't want the lies. I didn't want the spinoff. I didn't want it. I just didn't want it. But with counseling and a couple of conversations with God, he was like, hey, for me, it boiled down to doing the one thing so that I didn't regret not having it. I just want to tell y'all the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God, baby. It was a regret. Okay? It was a regret for so many reasons, because let me tell y'all. We're still on part 1. I asked my dad. I asked my mom. My mom asked me, how did I want it? What did I want? I told her I want this, I want that, I want this. I want this theme, I want that, I want this, I want that. I'm a very simple person. I did not have an elaborate wedding. Okay, it was just me and my husband, 2 flower girls, my niece, his niece. And because my best friend, which was at that time my cousin, because again, I married my best friend, but my person, that I'm gonna run to and tell everything to, was my cousin. So my cousin had just had a baby. So my cousin couldn't come. And then his best friend was like working and couldn't get to the new location because he was boarded. But like I said, we end up changing locations, which inevitably we changed states. Okay, because we lived in Georgia and we didn't have the ceremony in Georgia. We had the ceremony here in Indianapolis. Okay, so make sure all of that's clear. Now, so it was real intimate, real small, yada, yada, yada. Now, listen, cousins, listen. My late husband paid for everything, okay? He worked 2 jobs. He worked overtime. I'm talking about from my dress to his suits, from the little girls' dresses and everything like that. Everything I wanted, my husband paid for, okay? So when my father got involved, only thing he was asked to do was to pay $1,500 for the reception. That included the DJ. That included my cake. Now, mind y'all, we talking about this 12 years ago, so prices was way different. So you can get a couple of, and then, cause my mama a pastor, it was a lot of church love and favor, cause favor ain't fair, but I had a lot of favor in that, with that, not that I still didn't pay nobody, but okay, man, let me tell y'all, my mother did not tell me until literally the day before the ceremony, like, we still need $1,000. I'm like, we need $1,000 for? My dad, my father, refused to give my mother the $1,500 to pay for the reception because he proclaimed that my mother was taking the money to spend it on herself and that it would have nothing to do with me. Now, mind you, I am the bride. There's a lot of things I'm not supposed to be even involved in because everybody's supposed to be getting along for the sake of what? The wedding. Okay, man, let me tell y'all. I told my mama, don't worry about it. I was like, whatever we need to pay, we'll pay it. My father-in-law, which is my dad, Mr. Ramsey, okay, came through like a clutch. Clutched me, okay? Because let me tell y'all, if I had to wait on my father, my maiden name, which you ain't gonna get out my mouth, because, baby, I would have never even had the small joys that I had at that wedding. But baby, that's part 1. Cousins, stay tuned for part 2. Oh, because I'm gonna let y'all know what happened at the wedding. Y'all wanna know what happened at the wedding? Check in with me.